Now let's build the fan blades themselves. And we'll do this in much the same way that we built the grill. So we'll start with a primitive, a cube, and then we'll bring in a cloner under the MoGraph menu. Let's drop the cube into the cloner. And we can take the cloner, I'm just going to move it up. And instead of using a linear mode, which gives us much of what we had here, we want the fan blades to go around in a circle. So we are going to use the radial mode here. And you can see as I increase the radius here, the direction that is aligned with. So right now it's aligned with the XY. So we want to align it with the XZ. So we'll go ahead and change the alignment. Now let's go ahead and manipulate our cube a little bit. So we need to make more of a blade type of a look. So let's go ahead and decrease our sizes and increase our length in the Z. So for now we'll make it a little bit longer here. All right. And let's go ahead and increase. And you can decide whether you want it to be flat this way or flat the other way. We're going to be rotating it regardless. So I'll make it flat going this way. And then we'll go back into our cloner, increase the radius. Okay. They can overlap in the center. That's okay. And then we'll increase our count too. So let's go ahead and increase it by quite a bit. All right. So we end up with something like that. Okay, let's go now to transform, and let's play with our rotation values here. Oops, that's scale. And it's going to be this one, rotation in the bank. And so let's go ahead and rotate these. It gives them all that sort of overlapping kind of a look. We can also go into our cube if we don't want this completely sharp edge, fillet that. We can maybe take our radius down a little bit. Okay. Play with some of these values to get the exact look for the blades that you want, but that rotation is key in getting that sort of overlap. So I've got mine set to about 21 degrees. You could make it maybe something like 45 would give you a good look. And that can give you some good fan blades there. If you want to change the size, you can do that in the cube. So you have options there. And also within the cloner, you have options for changing things like the radius, pull it out or in, and then also the count if you want more or fewer fan blades. That's really up to you. So now we'll take the cloner and move it sort of into position here. Okay. And you can see we can scale the entire cloner down, or you could scale your cube down as well. So taking the length down, and then you have to change a lot of different values. So one way to do this would be just to scale the cube or the cloner down. So I'm going to scale it down so it's just kind of inside there. Okay, I want to come to the top view, and I just want to align it with this geometry that we previously created. So kind of drag it into the middle there. And we can scale it down a little bit. We just want it to be sort of inside there and kind of in the center. All right. Now for the cap that we have here, if you just wanted to grab a circle and an extrude NURBS, drop it in, drop the circle over here, and align it. Bring it up. Make it a little bit smaller. Go to your extrude NURBS. Just give it a value here. And we just want to add a cap on the top and in the center. Okay, just hitting S to frame that. And then I would use your caps to give it a little bit of sort of a taper. So taper that. And just give it something like that. And then I'd maybe make it a little bit smaller. And take the amount down here. Okay. So something like that. Maybe bring it out, maybe make it a little bit smaller even. And then I'd do the same thing, add the same thing on the bottom. Okay. Now, a cool thing is that when you go into the cloner, you can still go back in. You can add more blades if you want. Okay. You can change the radius, which we don't really want to do right now. You could change the start and end angle, which would be cool. If you had an effect where it's forming, you could change that, have it sort of spin on. You can also change the offset, which just is like animating the fan spinning. So if you wanted to just leave this as is, you could still have a lot of control for animating this. Okay, so now that we've got the fan blades built and the caps there, the next thing that we want to do is to go ahead and add some details up here on the front of the wing. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that with some splines next.